right. Come back at you again. Those who will be edified. First and foremost, I want to give our praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bashim Kakudash. Second, I want to give double honor to the apostle of GMS of well. Peace, blessings, salutation to the hopeful elect that consists of you so-called Negro, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, West Indians. This is Shaquaka Rao from GMS Virginia. Those will be edified. And this is titled The Herd Mentality, which we was talking about doing camp this past week. You know, pretty much this is the majority of the people here in America. Which let me get a couple of scriptures. Proverbs 14 and 12. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. You have this is a lot more. It's a lot more. But let's see what comes to mind. Because the majority of these people follow evil. They follow, wicked leaders. They're following the elite's agenda to the ditch. But we understand this is all, pretty much prophesied and predicted. So we're here through the spirit of Yahweh Shah to guide the elect and warn our people, which are the Israelites, so you won't do what? Follow, basically jump off the cliff. That's what's the saying? If you see them, everybody else jumping on the cliff, will you jump off with them? Or shit? Everybody, their first reaction is to say no, but shit. When you leave it to Beaver, when you're looking at all the rest of these people in America, you can clearly tell that they would jump off that cliff if they saw everybody else doing it, because that's what they're doing now. So Isaiah 47, and it says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstone and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, and cover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Then thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yeah, thy shame shall be seen." But, Esau, the so-called white man, has been able to pretty much seduce you, because we understand America is known as Babylon the Great Whore. And, a whore is very great at doing what? Hiding her filthiness. So one thing the so-called white man has done, he's been able to hide his filthiness and then keep you seduced on him being so beautiful. Him being a hero, him being a God, him helping you and loving you. So it says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. So yeah, we're removing that dress and that skirt. We're removing, that seduction that the so-called white man has put on our people. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen. So, here it is. As a woman wears a dress and she puts the makeup on, well, we're ready to throw water and take the dress off this broad. And you're going to see that she's hairy, she's nasty, she has STDs, and she's funky and she's nasty. And you go into her, you will die. Her seduction is what? Seducing you. And then once you're in and once she got you, she puts you to death. And that's you pretty much following her into that ditch. I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man. As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. I was wroth for my people. So we understand, the elect has been given the eye salve so they can see. I have polluted my inheritance and given them into thine hand, and thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient thou hast very, very heavily laid thy yoke, and thou saidst thou shalt be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither did his remember the latter end of it. Therefore, hear now this, that thou that are given to pleasures that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart. And you gotta remember, this whole world is geared to wickedness and pleasures. Men are messed up and women are messed up. And this is why I believe let me see. I always get this man's name mixed up. I think it's Henry. Let me see, Henry Kissinger. If I'm not mistaken, hold on. I might be wrong. I got his damn name, and the brother GMS Dedication brought that out, man. I don't think that's him. He pretty much said the American people are stupid, and then they would never rebel, and by the time they do, it's going to be too late. So the plans of the elites will prevail, right? Why? Because you people are seduced. Because really, all in all, you just want pleasure. So it says, that says in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, and one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. And this is how the so-called white man in America has been able to do what? Pretty much guide the people blindly. But they're so, it's so sure proof. But that goes back to Revelation 13 and 10, what is it, 13 and 15, you know, the so-called white man was given power to make this image of the beast seem alive, So the ways of this world is seductory, if I'm saying it right. Let me look up what is seduction. Let me see what it says. Seduction is the act of enticing, charming, or persuading someone into sexual activity or another, often undesirable behavior through temptation, flattery, and allure. So I'm gonna try not to. Let me see. Well, shit. When you really go back to the temple prostitution, and when you go back into the worshiping them idols and the gods, they led you into that temple. And once you got into that temple, you wanted to pretty much make your allegiance with the god or the idol. You had to do what? You had it involved in something in sexual endeavorance. You bowed down, you laid down, you had to make your sacrifice. That's why even with the so-called white man, really in all things that he does for you to really achieve in a society goes back to a sexual seductive drug involved environment. So sexual contact, it is mostly commonly understood as the process of enticing a person to engage in sexual intercourse or intimacy. And what really, Esau wants you engage in a society like that. Manipulation and charm. Because remember, even Israel as a whole, we're known as the Lord's woman. And what Esau is doing is he wants us to be his woman, but we belong to Yahweh Shem Shah, if you get what I'm saying. And when you go about the law about I believe adultery, here it is, the so-called white man wants us, but we're screaming out to Yahweh Shem Shah, if you know about that, you know about the law. If a woman has a man, if a man still tries to get with her, and she doesn't yell or scream, basically they're both wrong, and they both will be put to death. So manipulation and charm. Seduction often relies on subtle manipulation, charm, and the appeal to senses to overcome reluctance. See that? And that's what Esau does. And this is why you have this herd mentality of the people. Because everybody has been manipulated, indoctrinated, and seduced. So general temptation beyond sex, the term refers to the act of tempting someone such as a seduction of power or an irresistible, attractive quality. And that's this whole Babylonian way lifestyle. It's irresistible. Like my boy Nat King Cole said, unforgettable. That's his society, man. And East in America paints itself as an attractive place, gold, milk, and honey. You had other nations truly believing that at one time. Let me see. That's pretty much it on that. So let me close this. Go back to Isaiah, and I'm gonna go to the definition. So where was therefore shall verse 11, Isaiah 47:11. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off, and that's that destruction that's eventually going to happen by thermonuclear missiles and with Yahweh Shai and the multitude of the angels. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. So it said 12, stand down with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, so if so be thou mayest prevail. And it's not going to happen because, we understand Rome fell. This is the extension of Rome, the horn, the wound, the deadly wound that was healed. And we understand this is already prophesied. America was already prophesied that this will be destroyed as well. So, again, 13, thou art wearied in multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. And that's not going to happen. Your seduction has not prevailed against the elect, the prophets. So, what's that? That's your ass, Mr. Postman. Let me close this out. Herd mentality. What is the herd mentality? So herd mentality is when people follow what a larger group is doing, thinking, feeling, or acting the same way often without critically evaluating it themselves. So everybody just following and follow each other. That's why, these little new words that's formed, everybody says it. Like the word manifesting, chasing a bag. Back in the day, you hating on me. It's been so many trends and shit that he saw come down the pipeline, and everybody would just follow. Just like Lil Wayne came on, everybody liked it. Lil Wayne, Young Thug came on, everybody liked Young Thug. At first everybody, he wore a dress, and next thing you know, that nigga could rap. Uh, what else you had out there? Basically, your mainstream artists, everybody, the niggas that was always on the radio. And then you really ask these niggas, why you like him? And they really can't tell you. Really because it's a herd mentality. Everybody's doing the same as everybody else, man. They try to make it look like they're doing something different, but they're not. And this is ultimately why we're not liked in this society. And that also tells you, the friendship with the world is enmity with Yahweh Shem Shah. We understand that the herd mentality is doing what? They're being led to a ditch, to their slaughter. So it says, in short, everyone's doing it, so it must be right. And that's the mentality of these people. And this is why we stick out like a sore thumb. What it looks like. Buying something because it's trending. Agreeing with an opinion because your friends or social media do, right? Panicking because others are panicking. Stock market crashes, rumors, shortages. They did not. Yahweh Shah said about rumors, about basically. Let me just get it. Damn, butchering. What is this shit fire? Damn, turn it up. now. So it's in Matthew 24 and 6. Matthew 24 and 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So we're not moved. So a lot of things are going to come down the pipeline, and a lot of people are going to fall for it. It's like COVID, and everybody panicked. Everybody went took their took their little basketball shots and their little jump shots, and now look at them now. They're not looking too good. So it says staying silent or going along with the group even when you disagree. You know, a lot of people here. Yeah. You have a lot of people that know that America is not right, but hey, it's like these so-called white people, right? Oh, they come, we don't think slavery was right, but you don't say nothing. You stay silent. You don't say nothing. But the fact that your people are winning, your people have you still got the power. It still feels good to be white, so-called white. Like I said, staying silent or going along with the group, or even when you disagree, you're not going to say nothing, man. Why? Because you benefit from it, right? So the herd mentality. The so-called white people always talking that shit, right? But you still got that herd mentality with your people. But overall, our people and everybody has that herd mentality. Why it happens? Humans are social by nature, so herd mentality taps into desire to belong, and that's everybody. That's why hey, Yahweh Shem Shah gave us law, statutes, commandments in the nation and how the way to conduct ourselves. He gave us law, statutes, commandments. We are the nation of Israel, and we are a social people. But the thing about it, we are prisoners of war now. We're captives. We all fucked up, and we worship idols. And a lot of us don't know what the hell we're worshiping or what we're doing. So fear of standing out or being rejected. Hey, you're not going to last long in the truth if this is your problem. We're not going to fit in this society. Women are not going to like us. Dudes ain't really going to fuck with us. And even we are likable people, but at the end of the day, we still we're not going to fit in. Not too many people are really going to deal with us because they're going to see that we have a light to us that and they're dark. They're dark and we're light. And you can't be mad at that because ultimately it's Yahweh Shem Shah making that separation. So assumption that the group knows better. Mental shortcuts is easier than thinking deeply. See that? So it's easier just to be stupid, like the rest of them. It's easier to follow and just do what everybody's wearing red, right? Well, I'm gonna wear red too. Why? Why are you gonna do it? Because it's easy. Because I don't have no mind of my own. I'm stupid. I'm not, I'm not intelligent. I have no logic. So instead of me explaining why, instead of wearing red, I'm wearing gray. I'm gonna just wear red, and that's the mind of these people. That's just how it is. So again, don't take it personal. Hey, thank Yahweh Shem Shah that He has separated you from the herd mentality, from the rest of these losers out here. Now, do we have a herd mentality? Yes, for those that are righteous, the ones that are in the knowing, for the elect. The elect have a herd mentality for Yahweh Shem Shah, and we don't see nothing outside of it. So yeah, like it says, pros and its cons. So pros can promote cooperation and social bonding with who? Like-minded men. It's like Yahweh Shah stated, who is my family, who is my mother, those that do the will of Yahweh Shem Shah. Useful in emergencies when quick group action matters. Yeah. And that also goes into what? Loving thy neighbor as thyself, the laws, statute, commandments, charity, virtue, cons. So again, leads, I'm going to say it two ways, leads to poor decisions or irrational behavior, encourages misinformation and groupthink, eh, suppresses independent thinking and creativity. Kind of threw me for a loop. So real world examples. Um, Stock market bubbles and crashes, viral social media challenges, fashion and lifestyle trends, or political or ideological echo chambers. So let me see something. Um, Ephesians 6 and 12, for we wrestle not against, hold on, put on the whole armor, 6 and 11, Ephesians 6 and 11, put on the whole armor of Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And we understand they're misleading everybody. Let me see. Proverbs 8 and 13. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy in the evil way. In the forward mouth do I hate, because the way of the American Babylonians is evil. So we can't follow that path. Let me see. First Thessalonians 5:21. Prove all things, hold fast that which is good, abstain from all appearances of evil. Proverbs 3:7 and 8. Be not wise in thy own eyes, fear the Lord and depart from evil. Salaki. It shall be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bones. Psalm 97 and 10. Ye that love the Lord hate evil. He preserved the souls of his saints. He delivered them out of the hand of the wicked. So that's pretty much it. Let me see. It's AI overview or AI overview. Herd mentality or crowd mentality is a psychological phenomenon where individuals adopt the behaviors, beliefs, and emotions of a larger group, often ignoring their own personal judgment or values. Driven by the desire to belong or fear of standing out, it leads to collective, often impulsive action like panicking, investing, or following trends. Driving factors: desire for belonging. Humans naturally want to fit into a social group. And another thing too, Esau has broken everybody up. So a lot of people are just trauma bonding. Fear and uncertainty. When uncertain people look to others for cues on how to act. Emotional contagion. Group energy can override individual logic. Yes, common examples: financial markets panic buying or selling stocks based on crowd's actions. Social trends, adopting fashion, buying products, or following social media trends. Crowd behavior, following a crowd during riots, like you're seeing now. Protest, or conversely, in safe situation like cheering at a concert. So we all see this. Why you like Dallas Cowboys? Oh, they can't tell you, you know. Why you why you like the what's the fucking I don't watch football. What is it? The Commanders, the Washington Commanders, if I'm not mistaken. You know, why you out there protesting? The left, like yo, come on, man. You know, oh, you actually people, what's your intention? What's the end goal of it? They can't tell you. They just doing it because everybody else is doing it. And that's that herd mentality. We'll read that again. Crowd behavior. Following the crowd during riots. When you look at all these riots and shit, you look at their faces, man. They don't. You just out there, nigga. You don't know what you're out there for. Protest, or conversely, in safe situation like cheering at a concert. So let me see. That's pretty much it. I'm going to close this thing up. Those ways edified with this, with them say shalom.